Hands. We're back live previewing UFC Blaydes versus Volkov. I'm your host, Preston Ekdahl, as always joined by my co-host, Jeff Slaughter, holding up our brand new Talking Hands t-shirt, Fight Island edition. Go to pubsportsradio.com, merchandise section, and pick yourself up one. Jeff, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good, man. We're just hanging out. Another Fight Island or another card coming up before Fight Island starts, and looking to make some money, man. We got to make some money this week. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. Last week was a decent week, pretty chalky card. We had Clint, Diehard MMA podcast, on the show for our live stream, and we all hit Calvillo, which was nice. But that was last week. We move on to a new week, new card back in Vegas, Apex Center. I guess let's just start it right here with our first fight. We have Austin Hubbard taking on a brand new UFC debutant fighter, Max Roshkoff, at lightweight. Like I said, Roshkoff is coming in off less than a week's notice. And interesting fight here. What does my bookie have for the line?
My bookie totally disrespecting Hubbard. Hubbard's coming in as the dog in this at plus 155. Max, the newcomer, is coming in as the favorite, minus 190. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 115. Under minus 115. I got to say, that's pretty disrespectful line there for a newcomer. And Austin, who's obviously, I don't know how much you can say about Austin Hubbard besides he's got experience, maybe. He's not very good.
Yeah, he's a pretty run-of-the-mill type guy.
I mean, he's okay with the he's got good cardio. He can last 3 rounds. He's okay all around, but he's just not that good. Man. And Max, on the other hand, he's a newcomer. I haven't got to watch a whole bunch about him, but the little research I did look at, he didn't look half bad. And I know that he's been working real hard on his jiu-jitsu, has a good jiu-jitsu game, but he is a former Division I NC State wrestler. Mm-hmm. So he's got that in his back pocket. And I always say, I watched that last fight, Austin Hubbard versus Madsen. And I mean, dude, not only Hubbard goes down at will, I mean, he can get taken down at ease, but he could not finish Madsen in that 3rd round to save his life. Madsen had zero energy.
Yep.
And when you can't even hurt somebody when they're at their lowest point in the UFC, I feel like that's a big negative on you. And I think this line might be right, man. I'm going with Max. I can see how Austin wins because experience does go a long way. But I think Max uses his wrestling, tries to go for the back, get a submission, and go from there.
Yeah, so like Jeff was saying, pretty tough fight here. Max Roshkoff, really young and pretty inexperienced fighter, but he has, from what I watched, he had pretty decent power, good takedowns, and yeah, pretty much immediately gets the back. And that's worrisome, though, because every fight's been pretty much a 1-round finish, like a quick fight. And Hubbard's been in there with some tough guys. Davi Ramos is a elite jiu-jitsu guy. And then he just fought the Olympian Madsen, like you were saying, where he just got taken down at will. But then the 3rd round, he did win the 3rd round and made it close. But it's kind of, if you like Max, I would almost say take the under because you're getting 115 because I don't think he'll win the decision. But maybe he has the gas tank to go. And Hubbard, I think if he wins, he'll probably win a decision. I'll go with the newcomer here, 185, 190. I'll say Max by rear naked choke, round 1.
I do want to bring up, too, you brought up Ramos versus Hubbard. Yeah, he's a high-level jiu-jitsu guy, but this shows you what Austin Hubbard can do is nothing because Davi wanted to stand and bang with the guy. Like, he didn't even use the jiu-jitsu. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So he actually didn't feel threatened on the feet at all by Austin, and that's pretty weird when you got someone has high levels.
Yeah, a lot of these
Ramos, but
I mean, yeah, we've watched a lot of fights where we're picking the guy to game plan one way, and then they completely ignore their strengths and fight to their opponent's strengths and lose the fight, then complain when they lose the decision.
Yep. So anyway, we're both on Max. So I don't think this is a bet, a bet worthy bet. I'm not going to lay my money on. I'm going to watch this fight.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do think, you know, Max has the edge with that wrestling, just from what I've seen from Hubbard being able to get taken down at ease. So.
Yeah, and I mean small cage, and we've seen a lot of finishes, so it kind of plays more into him than Hubbard. So.
Right. Cool. So we're going to move on. The next fight, I believe, is Roxanne Modafferi versus Lauren Murphy. This is a pick'em, -115 each way, over and under 2.5, over -320, the under +260. What do you got here, Preston?
Yeah, so Lauren Murphy's last fight, she fought Andrea Lee, kind of a rock'em sock'em type fight, which I believe she lost. Had a very substantial bet on Andrea Lee, lose that, and as we know, decisions don't go our way. She's okay. I mean, this is a pretty. The odds makers, I think, got right. This is a pick'em. I think if it stays standing, it's going to be really close. But I favor if Modafferi can get a hold of her and get her down, because Modafferi has used her good wrestling, like some decent grappling. She hasn't finished fights though, so she's just going to kind of get her position and just sort of ground and pound and eke out rounds. And I think that's the way it goes. And she just gets a hold of Lauren Murphy, gets her down, and wins the decision. That's what I'm going with.
You're going with Modafferi to win or Lauren Murphy?
Modafferi. I think she's just a little better all around. And I mean, she's coming off her best win against Macy Barber, but
which is still, I think, the biggest like upset in the last couple of years.
Yeah, she was like plus 700. Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like about that, which is kind of deceptive, is Macy Barber has a lot of holes in her game when it comes to the wrestling. And I think that Lauren Murphy is a little bit more well-rounded in that department. Man, this is about as even as you can come. Modafferi, she likes to move forward, kind of chaotically throwing just crazy stuff, moving forward, trying to get that, against the fence to put you down. Very wild. Murphy, on the other hand, she's a little bit too stiff for me, but she, to me, I think, is the tougher of the two. Little bit, I think she's not, one thing I do know is she's not going to lay there like Macy Barber did and let Modafferi just freaking dominate her on the ground. She's going to make Modafferi work for every bit of that. And for that reason, as a pick'em, I'm going to flip a coin and I'm going Lauren Murphy here. I think she can outpoint her. She's got cleaner, straight, better boxing, in my opinion, some better jabs. And I think she's tougher all around. So, and she's been working hard lately, and you could see it in her game. She used to be somebody that I didn't think should even belong, and she probably didn't, but she's really come a long way. Both of these girls, they've beaten and lost to about the same opponents.
Yeah, they've both fought in the UFC for a while, and they,
So I mean, it truly is a pick 'em. I can see how Modafferi can hold her down, if she gets that route and keep taking her down. But I think Lauren will always try to get back up, and hopefully it ends on the feet. And I think Lauren has a slight edge on the feet.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, like you're saying, on the feet, it's a pretty coin flippy fight.
Yeah, exactly. So we're pretty. Well, it's a coin flip. We're gonna split the board on that. But let's move on. We got this fight was announced pretty late, I think. Right, Frank Camacho.
Yeah.
Versus Justin James. I read earlier he's the Guitar Hero. That's his middle name, which
that's the nickname he goes
probably
with.
The worst fucking nickname. That sounds like a couch potato just kind of sitting on the bum playing fucking video games or some shit. But this is easy for me. Frank's gonna fucking knock this dude out. I didn't have time to watch anything, honestly, but Frank's ready to knock someone out, and he's gonna knock this guy out. Inside the distance, I don't think you can bet Frank -340 unless you got a heavy bankroll. He's not going to lose this fight, but I do think inside the distance, TKO, something like that's a good prop.
Yeah, so Frank Camacho was going to fight Matt Frivola. Frivola had a cornerman test positive for COVID, so they pulled him from the fight. Then I believe Wednesday, Justin James gets the call up, and we've seen it. I think maybe not the last card, but the last few cards where these replacements came. The last one I really remember was that Giga Chikadze fought Erwin Rivera
or Tyson Nam.
Yeah, Tyson. Yeah, last week had one too. Tyson Nam versus that Russian guy.
Knocked him out in fucking
30 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's tough for these late notice replacements to come in, fight a UFC caliber fighter, and Camacho has been in the UFC for a few years now. Granted, his results aren't that great, but like Jeff said, he has big power. He's the bigger guy. And small cage, he just has to crack him once. I think he will. And I think Camacho will get him out of there in round 2 via KO. So I think we're going to be in agreement there. We can move on to Jillian Robertson taking on Courtney Casey, another closely lined women's MMA fight.
Yeah, so Courtney Casey, she comes in at it's a pick 'em right now at my bookie. It's 115 each way.
Yeah.
The over and under 2.5, over -140, under 2.5 is +110. I like the over right away. I'm just going to point that out at -140. I could see them both. Women's fights, one, are notorious for going the distance, and two, Robertson, to me, although she does have some great wins on her belt, she's going to be slightly smaller. She's pretty, to me, she's pretty one-sided. She's going to go for that takedown and go for the submission. She doesn't get that in the first round. I think she starts to break down, and Courtney Casey, we know what she does. She gets taken down almost every fight. I think I read some stat that she's got 20 takedown. I mean, she's been taken down 20 times in the fucking division, which is a lot, but she has a good guard. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. I know when you get taken down, it's points, obviously, but Casey's not going to stay there. She's got a good guard. She's always going to try to scramble up. She has submitted a few women from her back, which is impressive. And on the feet, I think Courtney has the edge. I mean, and the other thing I like about Courtney, she's tough as nails. Robertson's not going to knock Courtney out by any means.
No. Yeah.
Granted, Courtney is not known to knock people out herself, but she's tough as nails. And if she survives that first round submission, I think she wears Robertson out, and I think she wins this fight.
Okay, so this is the second fight, women's fight, actually, that we're on opposite ends. So Casey, her last fight, she fought very recently, or like 3 weeks ago, against Barella. She got a submission off her back. Like Jeff was saying, she has good jiu-jitsu off her back. Robertson's more of a wrestler grinder. Her last fight, she just kind of threw caution in the wind there and got into a firefight with Macy Barber, and just ate a lot of heavy shots and got stopped standing. I think, but before that, she was looking really good. She was taking her opponents down and, dishing out some vicious ground and pound. And, yeah, Casey is tough, but I think if Robertson, I tend to like the wrestlers more in general, because that wins you rounds, it steals rounds. If it's a relatively close fight on the feet, but you have the fighter who gets the takedown, 9 times out of 10, the judges are going to give that round to the girl or male who secures the takedown. So if it's as close of a fight as the odds makers are saying, I'll side with the girl getting the takedown rather than the girl on bottom threatening with submissions. And yeah, she could maybe catch her in a triangle or a armbar from bottom, but if she can't get that and Robertson's just kind of holding her there, peppering her with punches, elbows from the top, round ends, and does it 2-3 rounds in a row, she'll get the decision. So I'm going to side with Robertson. This is a big bounce back spot for her, and I think both girls need the win, but I think Robertson's a little more marketable. I've seen her do quite a bit different interviews with other media outlets, and I think she can ground and pound her for a finish. So I'm going to take Robertson here, round 2, via finish, ground and pound. Again, tough fight. We'll see. It's a coin flip for a reason. So we move on to what we have here. Marc-Andre Barriault taking on Oscar Pichota. A loser leaves the UFC match, I think.
Yeah, both these guys coming off 3 losses each. I mean, they probably shouldn't even be in the UFC at this point, but man, this is tough. Oscar, is a high-level black belt, obviously, but he just doesn't look good, man. He's getting fucking knocked out viciously. Who was the last fight he got knocked out viciously?
What was
his name?
The Hawaiian.
Yeah. God dang it, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to go back and research it, but I watched the fight. It just didn't look good. And I feel like someone that gets knocked out that viciously, their confidence goes down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark isn't any fucking world beater. He does move forward. He's he's a slow, typical big kind of guy. Not tremendously aggressive, but he will move forward. And the thing I like about Mark is he's a fucking tough dude. I mean, he's just a fighter. Like he's fought in the better competition up to this point. And he's had some close rounds with a lot of good fighters compared to Oscar. So with that being said, another coin flip fight, man, I'm going to go with the tougher guy here. I think Oscar probably fells the first round submission. Mark survives it somehow. And then from there on, Mark just grinds him out.
Yeah. So Marc-Andre Barriault is a guy who I think I bet on him every fight. He's lost every fight.
I know, me too.
He's just because he was
his gas tank seemed to like fucking. If he could ever find that extra boom, he would be pretty good fighter. Dude.
Well, if he just did like a little more, like he doesn't do enough. When we were like we did the show, the Talkin Hands show for the pay-per-view, like the worst pay-per-view I can remember was Holloway versus Edgar, that card. It was like a crap card, but he was on there. He was on the pay-per-view versus Jocko, and neither guy did anything. Just like Jocko's last fight versus Eric Anders we watched here, where they're just against the cage, clinched up.
Yeah.
You know,
Eric Anders is the worst at that. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah. So I'm a little worried that that could happen in this fight, where it's going to be a very boring. I don't know who won the fight. We'll see. But Pichota, he has finished every fight so far. Knocked out bad his last fight, and then subbed out versus Mearshart, and then I forgot his name, the black belt hunter, whatever his name is, who's Vieira.
Yeah, which is a world class fucking.
Yeah, and so they kind of threw Pichota to the wolves there in that one. I agree with Jeff. I think Pichota's way to win is somehow to get Barriault down, get on top, work for a submission. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I think Barriault keeps it standing, outstrikes some, sneaks past some rounds, gets a decision, and wins the fight. I think over. I don't know. It's
over is plus 105, so that's a good look.
Yeah,
I like the over.
Yeah, I think over is a good look, because if you like the under, you would think it's going to be a sub from Pichota. Because I haven't seen Barriault put like enough power in his shots to viciously knock someone out.
Nah, he takes a lot of damage, but he's tough as nails, and he'll move forward, and that's what I like. You put that pressure on Oscar, and let's say you don't get that first submission, I think the fucking dude gets grinded out.
Yeah, so I think
for the decision.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement here. I'm gonna go with Marc-Andre Barriault, and his line has dropped, so it's like a pick 'em. So you're getting decent value there. So we move on to Brianna Van Buren taking on a girl with 4 losses in a row.
Is this the last fight of the
prelims?
Yeah,
it's either this one or the next one, but yeah, it's probably this one. Taking on Tisha Torres, 2 very small fighters.
Yep, the Brianna is minus 230. Tisha Torres is plus 185. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 480. Under plus 355. So you know what they're telling you.
Oh yeah, decision for sure.
All the way. Yep. Yeah. You want to go ahead, or you want me to? Because
this is an interesting one. If you go by, I guess, level of competition, you're favoring Tisha Torres. Her last fight, she was against Marina Rodriguez, who's more of a Muay Thai fighter, and she just couldn't take those shots. She was getting beat up bad in the clinch, striking. But again, she was giving up size. Here, she's against a girl where they're about the same size, and it's going to be who can implement their game plan more. Can Van Buren dig deep, take her down, and take the rounds? Or can Torres keep the fight standing a little more, outbox her, make it more of a dirty fight and steal rounds? I don't really like either fighter or either side here.
Since Tisha's left fucking American Top Team, sure, game has gone to shit.
Yeah,
She got married. She moved over with Raquel, who's on the card later in Pennington, right?
Yeah, Pennington.
She left ATT, and then her game like disappeared. It's like she doesn't know her head's not there or something.
Yeah, the last fight was really bad because it seemed like she didn't know what to do too much, and before that she fought the champion now, Zhayli Wang, who just is a bigger girl who can really hurt her standing, and won the fight. Man, this is a really tough one. I don't know if I would lay the 220 or 230 with Van Buren, only because it's such a relatively small sample size. She's only fought in the UFC once. She won a decision, but she has good takedowns, but her striking is nothing compared to some of these girls Torres fought with, Joanna, Zhang, and Rodriguez. So if it stays standing, it's going to be a close fight. And then, I don't think like you're saying, no one's going to knock each other out. It'll go a decision. Man, I'm going to take Torres. I'm not going to wager on it, but I think Torres keeps her career in the UFC with a win here. Then she'll probably drop her next fight and get cut. So
yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. It's tough to pass up Torres when you're getting plus 185. I mean, she has fought in the better competition by far. She's got great hands, good boxer, but man, I've watched this Brianna chick the last couple of days, and even her regional fights or Invicta fights. She fought good competition and she fucking dominated. Like, she's relentlessly all going for the takedown all the time. And that's what I think is going to happen. She's going to out wrestle Tisha. And once Tisha's on the ground, she's not getting back up. I mean, that's all she wrote. So to me, it's like Khabib facing Conor almost like.
Yeah, Tisha's not going to go for many submissions off her back. She's not. And yeah, if Van Buren can keep her grounded, work ground and pound, and they don't constantly stand her up, she'll steal the rounds and win the rounds. So.
And I think that's what she does. I just think she's got the tools to beat Tisha. Tisha's head's kind of out of it. I don't know. She's on that skid. I know they're all against pretty good opponents, but I think Brianna's hungrier, younger, fresher. She's got that wrestling. I don't know if anyone. She might be in, the top 3 wrestlers in that division. I'm going to be honest with you after watching her. I'm going to go with her all the way. So I like her a lot, minus 230. I would probably wager slightly on it, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else.
Yeah, this is
my personal bet.
Yeah, this is a tougher card for betting because, I mean, we'll get to it. Like, obviously, everyone's on the same play, and the line is absurd.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's the problem.
So we move on, which we think is probably is the first fight in the main card. Clay the Carpenter Guida taking on Bobby Green.
Bobby Green comes in at minus 265. Guida's catching plus 205. The over and under 2.5. Over minus 185. Under plus 155. What do you got?
Man, wild that Clay Guida is still in the UFC.
Insane.
I thought he got cut or retired because his last fight, he got tapped out immediately by Jim Miller, looked horrible. And that was a co-main event, which is absurd. And then
when you lose a round to BJ Penn, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Yeah. Time to hang that shit up.
Well, and BJ actually stunned him a bit. He hit him with one really good shot.
He lost that whole round. BJ turned it up and fucking was welling on his ass.
Yeah, and Guida still kind of does the same thing. He bobs, his hair gets in his eyes. He doesn't really know where he is. But he's old, so he doesn't have that explosiveness anymore to shoot, to be quicker and like get the fight to the ground and ground and pound. He's going against, but it's not like what sucks is, Bobby Green should win this fight pretty easily, but Bobby Green's another fighter. Kind of fights like an idiot, doesn't fight smart.
Showboat.
Yeah, he kind of only throws one punch at a time, and then, dances a bit, throws another punch.
Yep.
He doesn't really cement the rounds or dominate. So I think Green will win a decision only because Guida, man, I just think Guida's chin can get cracked, and like Green could probably finish him standing.
I agree.
But it's just, will Green put it up? I saw they talked a lot of trash today at the weigh-in because Green's boys with Nate Diaz, and Guida beat the tar out of Nate Diaz years ago. So Green's like, oh, this is retribution. This is like payback. So get a little angle for the fight, get some pre-fight hype. Yeah, I'll take Green. I don't like laying 260, 270, whatever it is, but Guida, once these fighters, get cracked and get old like they do, man, it's tough to back them. And we'll talk about it, I think, with the next fight, Jim Miller.
And how old is Clay? How old is he now? 38. Wow, he's coming in 38 years old.
Yeah, and he fights. I mean, he's fought
35. Fucking, I mean, he's fought in so many fights.
Yeah.
I think, the next guy, like you said, Jim Miller's probably fought in the most, I think.
Yeah. Jim Miller's on his 35th UFC.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go real quick here. Bobby Green's all the way. No disrespect to Clay, he's one of the all-time great lightweights there. Not, I wouldn't say all-time great, but an all-time like gatekeeper type, like a middle.
Yeah, I think
like a good. He's a professional good.
Yeah, every UFC fan knows Clay Guida.
Exactly, dude. He's just, without his speed, he's getting slower. He's very overhand right and hooks. I mean, that's all he's got. One punch here and there. Green, I think, has a lot more weapons, but like Preston said, he just doesn't ever put them together. He's kind of more of a showboat. Yeah. He wants to like dance in between his shit and talk shit. But I like Green. I think he can put it on, really turn it up here, and I think he can beat the crap out of Guido and probably finish it. I think Bobby the King Green is gonna take this pretty easily. Yeah,
I mean this is a good fight for him. He has to get off he's on a little schneid. I think he's dropped 2 in a row. Has to get a W in the victory column and just try to move up in the division, because that's the deal. Like here, I mean, we talk about this all the time, but here's the issue: a fight like this, neither guy's going to be top 10, top 15.
No.
So the UFC just keeps these guys to fill the undercard. Like soon, I mean, I think they said they cut BJ Penn, but like BJ Penn was doing this for the last few years. Let's throw Ryan Hall, BJ Penn, you're fighting Clay Guida now. It's just like,
but like example, like De La Rosa last week, you really think he's going to get cut? I don't. I think Dana will keep him around.
Yeah, just for
because that's what he does
to feed a prospect.
I mean, who cares if he lost 4 fights? Dana doesn't fucking care. He just needs fillers at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing it every week. Fighters drop out. I told Jeff this right before our show. Aspen Ladd just dropped out. She was the 3rd fight from the top on the card next week. So now they got to find a women's fighter to come in. Who you think? Hannah Cyphers again? The 3rd fight in 3 weeks?
Yep, it's going to be her or Angela Hill or fucking, we'll pick someone.
Yeah, one of the girls we see every week.
Hell, we might even see Tisha Torres or Brianna. I mean, whoever the fuck they want to throw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's insane how they do it. Like I'm telling you, if it's Hannah Cyphers, I'm tweeting at Dana White. Hannah Cyphers has lost 2 fights in 3 weeks. Both in the first round, just got decimated. But
I know, and like I mean, so much for the union. You don't even care about your fucking people. Like you got to have brain damage by then or something. Or
I mean, I was shocked though. She got paid $35,000, which is pretty good for her.
Yeah, it is
for being a mid-tier like female fighter. But
wow.
Yeah, tough for her. But we move on to another bout on the main card, kind of like the Clay Guida Bobby Green fight. We move on to Jim Miller. Taking on Roosevelt Roberts.
Jim Miller, Roosevelt Roberts comes in at -250. Miller comes in catching the plus money at 195. Over and under 2.5. Over -120. Under -110. Does Jim Miller ever go to an over? I mean, this could be an under pretty easily. Seems like Miller after the first round get tapped out. Man, this is a hard fight for me. I'll be honest, because I love Jim Miller's been one of my favorite guys, just kind of as a journeyman type guy. Like he's always been there. He's always put up good fights. Man, but Roosevelt Roberts is a different animal. He's tall. I don't like how skinny he is. I'll be honest. He doesn't look like he has a ton of muscle on him.
Yeah, he's big for the division though.
Very fucking tall, very lengthy, good jiu-jitsu. I think this is what wins him the fight. Miller, we all know what Miller can do. He's got knockout power and he can submit you.
Mm-hmm.
But he also can get knocked out and he also can be submitted. He's been knocked out and submitted a lot. The guy's fought the most fights in UFC history, I think.
Yeah.
Roberts with his length is going to be a real problem. I mean, if Miller doesn't make out this first round, Roosevelt Roberts can piece him up, use his length, keep him outside. I don't know how much you'd want to wrestle with Miller because I do feel like Miller being short and probably stocky, although Miller's gas tank's pretty much crap. I don't know how much you want to roll around with Miller. So I think Roosevelt kind of uses a different game plan that he's not used to and stays on the outside, uses his length a little bit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. We have Matt Lawrence checking in. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, Matt, what's up, buddy? Happy birthday the other day.
And you got your boys, the Red, Liverpool on Sunday, right?
Coming tomorrow, I think, the 21st, right?
Yeah. So that's coming up. So hopefully they get that victory
Saturday
for you. Check out Matt at the Bloker Joker podcast.
Yep.
Make sure to tune in there. Yeah, so I actually completely agree with Jeff. I think Roberts fights a standing completely. I think he just uses his length, jabs Miller, avoids the heavy shot, and as he was saying, Miller's pretty much a one-round fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to come rushing in, small cage, throw some overhands, and, try to get him to the ground and work a submission. But Roberts is so long, his limbs, it's going to be hard for Miller to just control him. Because, I just think Roberts can stand up in whatever position he's in, get away, and just outstrike him. And, I don't know, Roberts could, man, I think he could really hurt Miller standing.
And that's what's whack, though. Robertson's not known for this, stand-up badass. But when he actually lets his hands go, dude, he fucking has some good pop to it, and he has some good range. And
yeah,
he's getting better. You see his hands getting better, which is what I love about.
Yeah, Roberts is a guy I'm pretty high on. We just saw him fight 2-3 weeks ago against Weaver.
That's the one thing that scares me a little bit. That quick turnaround. I always hate quick turnaround fights.
Yeah, this one was weird because this is another late notice fight. Roberts fought 3 weeks ago. It got added last week. I got messaged that, did you see Jim Miller's fighting Roberts? I'm like, what the hell kind of fight is this? I was shocked that Miller would take it, and even Roberts, because this doesn't really move him up too much. I mean, it's a name. So, you get that name, then maybe you get a better fight. But, yeah, I like Roberts by decision personally. I think he keeps it standing, avoids Miller's sub attempts, and beats him up pretty bad on the feet.
So if you like by decision, the over -120 is a good looking play. Let's just look at the props real quick. Roosevelt Roberts by decision is +190. That's good money. Inside the distance, no, or yes, right? It'd be inside. You're going to say, is fight goes inside the distance? No, -140. So you're better off betting the over and the decision.
Yeah. I think that's how he gets it done, because Miller, it's pretty much sub or bust. I
could see Roberts getting on his back and subbing him as Miller gets late in the rounds and tired.
Yeah, but, pounding him.
Yeah, but that all depends if Roberts wants to go in and take that challenge there, because Miller's no slump, and I think if you go roll around with Miller, you kind of let him off the hook a little. So you don't want to stand and bang with someone he can't reach,
right? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he'll just eat, like I said. I think he's just gonna be eating jabs, rights, good straight punches. And Roberts already fought a guy like this, and he lost against Pinchel last year, who was one of those
decision, right?
Yeah, decision. One of those tough, veteran guys. So I think he got it out of his system. Came back to camp, beat a good Russian guy, just beat Weaver, and I think he outclasses Miller. 250. I mean,
little tough.
You can straight bet it. You can parlay it. I know some people are on him in a parlay with the main, but I like Roberts here quite a bit.
I did too. Cool. We're in agreement there. Let's move on to the next fight. Pretty good one. Pretty controversial. Let me plug in my headphones. They always slip out here. We've got Bilal Muhammad coming in at -125. Lyman Good -105. Over and under 2.5. Over -180. Under 2.5 is +150. What do you got?
Yeah, so Lyman Good, since he's been in the UFC, it's kind of been a tale of two different fighters. Standing, he looks dynamic, heavy power. He really was beating up Chance Rencounter his last fight.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually got the stoppage. But before that, I also bet him against Damian Maia, where he looked awful. 0 grappling. Maia just got him down, slowly sunk in a rear naked choke, and he tapped out in 2 minutes, where it almost seemed fixed. But of course it wasn't, but his grappling just looked horrible. Muhammad has decent wrestling and grappling. So it's tough because it's a small cage though. So I think Good could catch him, but Muhammad all around is the better fighter. Muhammad's fought decent competition. He's got a good UFC record. He's only dropped 3 fights.
His last loss was to Jeff Neal, which little side note, he actually called Jeff Neal after the loss, and for this fight went and trained with Jeff Neal. So he's trying to learn from his mistakes and get better, which is what I like about the guy.
Yeah, that's smart because Jeff Neal kind of has a similar style of big, heavy power. And Neal's probably a little sharper on the feet technically, but I don't know if anyone hits as hard as Good.
I know.
Like
the guy's built like a goddamn
like a
Roman statue.
Like a cyborg or something, like he was like made. Yeah.
It's fucking unbelievable.
But
it's a tough one, dude.
I think Muhammad is gonna just avoid that big power, but that's the deal. Good, it's not like he's just gonna gas out. I think Good, his power is gonna maintain throughout the fight. So Muhammad has to be kept sharp. So then he has to work the grappling, has to wrestle, get him down, and I think if you like Muhammad, you like him by sub or decision. I think it's under 2.5 plus money. I think that's a good look, personally. That way you get both guys, so kind of. Because Good to win, I think it has to be a knockout. Unless he really hurts Muhammad in round 1, then he can probably just pepper him and, Muhammad, he won't quit, but, he'll be beaten bad like Rencounter was. And if Muhammad wins, I think he'll choose the grappling and, maybe secure that sub like he got in his last fight. Coin flip, I'm going to take Muhammad. I like the guys who have a little more ways to win, but I would not be shocked if Lyman Good runs out of there, 20 seconds, knocks him out, and it's like, well, that's what we've been seeing in the UFC. So.
Yeah, I know, man. That's my big worry right here, and this is why this is probably the toughest fight on the card for me. I think Muhammad has a good, well-rounded game. I mean, he has got great takedowns, good wrestling, good striking, good boxing, all around a good fighter. Lyman Good, though, like you said, man, Jesus. The guy's built like a fucking statue of, just solid steel. I mean, the guy's got some incredible power. You do have to worry about his head, though, because he kind of shows some signs of being in and out of the game. Like you said, when he gets taken down, he doesn't seem to want to fight, scramble, or anything. He just kind of gets dominated there. Yeah. And that's what I could see happening, because does Muhammad really want to stand with someone that has the power like Good? I don't think so. Good's going to be the bigger guy here with obviously the more power. But man, I do like Muhammad because he's a smart fighter. His IQ is really high. And I think he's going to relentlessly go after those takedowns. He's going to put the fight where he needs to go. I think he's going to be in better shape, to be honest with you. I've read some articles that Good's had some trouble with the whole COVID working out and everything. That could be a problem there. Again, with knockout power, you never know, because it could come in one shot. So the same thing you said, man. I mean, it won't surprise me if Good beats him with one knockout punch, but you got to think Muhammad's IQ and his wrestling. I worry about the strength a little bit, but I guess with the technique, that kind of avoids some strength there. So I'll go with Muhammad as well, minus 125. I like that look. And like you said, if he wins, it's going to be submission or decision by takedowns, by that kind of domination.
Yeah, with grappling for sure.
Yep.
Okay, we move on to Raquel Rocky Pennington taking on Marion Renault. What is the line here?
Pennington coming in as the favorite, minus 185. Marion plus 155. Over and under 2.5. Over minus 330. The under 255 plus 255. What you got?
Man, another fight I kind of don't have much interest in here.
I have zero in this fight.
So Rocky Pennington just fought Holly Holm. I wouldn't even call it a fight. Neither girl did much of anything. It was a clinch, up against a cage battle. I saw an interview. She said, oh, that was an anomaly. I'm going to come out, put on this girl, and, really show myself, yada, yada. And then you got Renault, who her last fight fought Yana Kunitskaya. And Yana Kunitskaya is a great striker, but somehow she out-grappled Renault and took her down pretty easily. And Pennington isn't really known to be like a heavy striker. She's a little better grappler. Again, two like run-of-the-mill kind of fighters, even though Pennington, did get a title shot a few years ago. But I'm going to take Pennington. I think she's fought the better competition. Like we're saying, with the grappling, I think she's a little better there. Renault probably has a little more pop on her punches. She did cause Kunitskaya to get cut, and she's she's tough, she's durable, but she's also 42 or 43 years old. She's up there in age. She doesn't have much time left. Pennington's 31, and she needs the win bad too. It was a tough loss for her against Holly Holm, where she didn't really do much of anything. So I think what she'll do is she'll try to throw some overhand rights, get inside, maybe clinch, drag her down, beat her up a little bit on the ground. But this won't be a friendly fight, a fan favorite.
Over comes in probably 100%.
Yeah, even if you're laying 330, 350, I think I'm going to go Pennington by decision in a pretty mundane, boring fight.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said, except I'm taking the other side just because I think Marion has a little bit more pop. And, man, this is her last fucking go at it. She's 43. She's going to go out with the bang. I don't trust Raquel in her head, and I don't trust Tisha Torres, and I just don't like that pair. I don't know why. Nothing against them personally. It's just they both haven't been the greatest since they've kind of been out on the limb together. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird, but man, Raquel, I don't know. Yeah, a little bit better grappling, but not by much. And Marion, for that reason, just because it's so close of a fight, and I got to take the plus money here. Plus 155.
Yeah, it's a pretty lousy fight. That's what we have Chris Hames in the chat saying fight is trash. Yeah, we agree. Not really a great main card fight, but
we could get to the next fight, which might be the fight of the night.
Yeah, this is definitely the most fan-friendly fight, I believe. Josh Emmett taking on Shane Burgos.
Yep, and Burgos comes in as the favorite, minus 160. Emmett's plus 130. Over and under 2.5. Over is even money, under minus 130. Man, this is a good fight, bro, and I'm excited about this fight. We all know what Josh can do with this power. At 145, he has a 100% knockdown rate. That means every fight he's fought at 145, he's knocked his opponent down at least, whether he's win or lost. Fucking pretty impressive. That shows you that he's probably the most powerful guy in that division. And then you got Burgos, on the other hand, who's just a phenomenal fucking boxer, dude. The kid's going to be the bigger guy. He's a big 145er. And, man, he can put it on people, too. He's got power, too, but he's by far the more fluent stand-up, striker, boxer.
Yeah, I agree.
Got some good kicks. The only thing that Shane bothers me with, man, I don't like about him, I don't love this about him at all, is he keeps his hands down. I hate fucking fighters that do that. He keeps his hand down. And when you keep your hand down against Emmett, you know what Emmett can do with anybody. I mean, he's got the power. I'm going to let you tell me your take on this. I'm leaning Burgos. I think he's the all-around better fighter. I think he can really piece apart Josh Emmett, similar to what Michael Johnson did. But he's going to be smart enough to hopefully avoid that one ending shot.
Yeah, so we have a comment here by Chris Hames. He thinks Burgos is going to style. Also, like fight doesn't go the distance / under. And I agree with Chris here. I like Shane Burgos quite a bit. Like Jeff was saying, he has some really good boxing. And the last fight he lost, really, actually the only fight he's lost was against another guy I put pretty high up in the UFC, Calvin Kattar. Good jab, good right. His last fight, he was going to the body a lot. I think Emmett, though does train at Alpha Male, so he has some sort of a wrestling background, but it should be a stand-up fight. Shorter guy, not as long reach. if you're betting on Emmett, you're betting on a knockout. And Emmett was getting worked by Michael Johnson. I had a bet on Michael Johnson.
Worked, bro.
And
Worked.
Johnson just...
We both had Johnson that night.
Right at the end, just gets clipped, dropped, finished, under a minute left because he just got his head out of the game, kind of. I think Burgos, I don't know if he knocks out Emmett, but I think he accumulates a lot of damage. But he doesn't want to... I don't want him to get inside, getting like a dirty, like, scrum where it's like take a punch to give a punch, because then Emmett will win, because Emmett will probably knock him out. He has to use his reach, go to the body, use some leg kicks.
Got the speed.
Yeah, he's quicker for sure. Yeah, he's
way
a lot quicker. He has a good jab. He has good height.
Uses that in and out real good, can get in and out.
Yeah,
he scrambles well.
Yeah, and he's been getting better. I mean, Makwan isn't a great fighter, but he looked good.
Yeah, the thing that scares me, I keep looking at that record, was I remember that Cub Swanson fight, and Burgos took so much fucking damage because he was keeping his hands down. Like, dude, I can't fucking put $5,000 on someone that fucking puts their hands down.
Yeah, he fought kind of dumb, because I don't think he respected Cub's power. Here, his coaches have to say, hey,
they have to.
You've seen this guy fight. He has heavy power, good knockout power. Get in, get out, jab, right hook, right, straight right, go to the body, and then just pinpoint, avoid. I like Burgos a lot here. This could be my best bet. We'll see. We'll save that for the end of the show, but I really like Burgos. Again, I think I've been on the opposite end of every Emmett fight, except when he got knocked out by Stevens. I did have Jeremy Stevens that night, so I did get one right with him, but I like Burgos here quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, God, you look at Emmett's last 4 fights, it's they've all ended in a KO or TKO. There's fights are fucking pretty. I mean, that's what Josh Emmett does, man. He just knocks them out. That's his only thing. I've never really seen him use the wrestling too much.
Yeah, no, it's usually he just comes in, wings, like heavy.
Exactly.
Hooks.
And that's what I'm worried about, dude, is you don't do that. You don't do enough against Shane Burgos. He's going to fucking piece you up. He's going to pick you apart, and he's going to win. And I got to back Burgos, man. I got to. I think he's hungrier. I think he's actually the bigger 145er. I know Emmett's got all the power, but he's a big fucking 145er, and I like that, man. I like the length, the hand speed, everything about it. I love Burgos too, man.
Yeah, no, so yeah, we're in a complete agreement there. Now we move on to the main event of the evening, Curtis Blaydes taking on Alexander Volkov. Blaydes is a heavy favorite, though. I think he's minus 400.
Yeah, Blaydes comes in at minus. Now he's fucking up to minus 410 on mybookie.ag. Go visit mybookie.ag. Put in Pub Sports there. They'll match your. They'll
50% deposit bonus match for $100. Yep,
that's right. And let's go, man. So Blaydes, So Volkov comes catching the points plus 310, over and under 2.5, over 100, under minus 130. This is pretty fucking clear cut to me, right?
Yeah, I think
the whole world.
Yeah, I think Blaydes is the best heavyweight. He's got in. It sucks that he got knocked out so quick against Ngannou his last fight when he lost that fight. Because if you erase that decision, or that fight from happening, I think Blaydes might be the current champion. I think he would beat Stipe. I think he would beat DC. And Ngannou just has his number. Blaydes has
twice. That's crazy.
Yeah, Blaydes just has great wrestling, great takedowns, good ground and pound. He goes for the finish. And his last fight, he beat Junior Dos Santos standing. He knocked out Dos Santos. Volkov is the taller guy, should have a reach advantage. But again, it's a small cage. Curtis Blaydes, I think Jeff saw it or retweeted it. He tweeted out, "Hey guys, if you think this fight's going 25 minutes, you're sorely mistaken. I'm going to take his ass down and beat him to death, basically." And just said, "That's my game plan." So
says I'm going to ragdoll his ass around.
Yeah, so he pretty much said what he's going to do. And really, I think everyone knows that's what he's going to do.
And Tisha Torres said the same shit last week, and look what she did. She took her down, and she fucking pretty much when she wanted to take her down, she took her down.
Calvillo.
Calvillo.
Cynthia Calvillo. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, if you go with the game plan that works, and that's going to work, because standing, Volkov could maybe jab him, but it's a 25-minute fight.
And even at then, doesn't Volkov look so fucking slow and like methodical and like boom, boom, like nothing's like.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot. Yeah, he doesn't work a lot.
He probably has more power than it looks. That kind of like it might be real deceiving, but I think I know where you're going with this. I mean, you can't fucking.
Yeah, no, it's Blaydes via TKO for sure.
Yeah, and that's the only way I can fucking see it. Let's look at some props real quick. Blaydes is going to ground and pound, smash him, and they're heading to a collision course with him and Francis. I know it, man.
Yeah, I mean, because he just beat Dos Santos. Volkov's probably a step back, like a step down from Dos Santos. And Volkov, what sucks is I bet him against Derek Lewis. He's beating the hell out of Derek Lewis. Right at the end of the fight, he gets knocked out. You know,
so,
it's like he's.
So if you want to save a little juice, actually a lot of juice, bet Curtis Blaydes by KO, TKO, or DQ minus 190.
That's a lot better than
that's a good
somewhere
look.
else I know.
And even worst fucking case scenario, Blaydes by decision. I mean, worst case,
that should be
dude.
Plus what, 3?
No, plus 450.
Oh, yeah. Shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you could hammer the TKO and then put half of that on the decision and then you win either way.
You could do here's a good look. Okay, over 1.5 rounds at minus 185.
Well, yeah, what was the total? 2.5, right?
Was it 2.5? Yeah, 2.5. So I don't know. I think he can get it done in that first round. I just don't see him enough out of Volkov. I think he gets on his fucking back and Blaydes' elbows are coming. It's gonna be easy first round win. Blaydes wins in round 1 plus 275, round 2 plus 400. I think it happens inside 2 rounds.
Yeah, I like just in I agree, but I like that minus 190.
Oh, I love that 190.
You're getting under the 2 because I've seen some books put up to 250, 275, 300. And yeah, so
by KO, TKO minus 190. I think that's a good lock them in there.
Yeah, I think that's a great bet. Chris Hames is in agreement. Elbows inside of 2 rounds. Yeah, Blaydes for sure. And I think Blaydes wins this. DC fights Stipe in August. I think DC wins, he retires, and they do Stipe versus Ngannou, and then Blaydes, I guess, will get the winner of that. So, yeah, I love Blaydes here. You take that minus 190, and you just say, hey, just get the finish, and you're taking a 400 favorite to 190, which really, the line should be 250. It opened at 280, but it got bet up to 4. So now you have to, find a way to bet it where it's reasonable, and Blaydes inside the distance or via KO TKO is a great bet. So
4K to win 1,000 though is pretty fucking juicy.
Yeah, I know. It just sucks
you got 5K
that you have to,
and you're willing to risk 4. It's not bad.
Yeah, it just sucks you have to lay that much to win it. But yeah, I agree. So we can move on here to a best bet.
Before our best bets, let's get to our sponsors that sponsor the best bet segment. It's Natural Heights. You can go visit Natural Heights. They're a CBD company. If you suffer from stress, anxiety, joint pain, insomnia, fucking headaches, can't eat, any of that stuff, man, these guys got flour, gummy bears, pills, you name it, oil. I take the Charlotte Webb's oil, badass stuff. Go see those guys. They're off 1880 Nacogdoches Road. Look them up on Facebook, website, naturalheights.com. Good guys over there.
Yeah, for sure. And then, as always, if you want to make a deposit, we're getting all our lines from mybookie.ag. Enter promo code PUBSports. You'll get a 50% deposit match if you deposit $99. And as Jeff's showing right here, we have merchandise. This is the Talkin Hands Summer Fight Island t-shirt. You can pick yourself up one on pubsportsradio.com. Go to the merchandise. And we have sizes from small to double or triple XL. So whatever your size, we got a shirt for you. Yeah, we'll move on here to our best bet. I'm going to go with Burgos. I'll lay the 160. I think Burgos gets it done via decision. But, just in case he does drop and knock him out, I like Burgos here quite a bit. So I'll go with Shane Burgos.
Yeah, so, man, I was in total agreements with that. I like him as well as my best bet. But since you've taken that, I was afraid of that. I had a backup plan. I am going to take I'm going to take Bobby Green, man. I know it's a high line. minus 265, but I really feel like this is a safe line. Maybe the most one-sided of the night. And I'm going to go with that, man. I'm going to go with Bobby Green here is my best bet. But we're all in agreement on Blaydes. I mean, that's a for sure, fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good bets. So tomorrow night, watch us live. We're going to be streaming.
Yeah. So make sure to tune in on our Pubs Radio YouTube page. We stream every event here. I believe it's 8 to 11 tomorrow. We'll be live streaming the fights. We bet with mybookie.ag. Follow along.
Every Friday, every Saturday night, we load up the same amount, $500 into the account.
And we'll give you the bets before the fight so you'll know what we're betting. You can tag along, bet with us. And
the goal is to turn that 500 into as much as possible. And we're going to do it every Saturday night, trying to flip that cash. That should be what that segment's called, flip that cash, because that's what we're going to do. That's what everyone's trying to do here.
Yeah, I think this week we have a few good looks. And, it's for the main card. So make sure to tune in, Pubs Radio YouTube page, 8 to 11 tomorrow. And this is Talkin Hands. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.
Later, y'all.